Hey guys, welcome to another video for the POCO X3 Pro, and as you would have seen in the recent shots, we have ShapeShift OS installed on the K20 Pro and on the POCO X3 Pro as well. Now we will be doing a quick look at it. I've been using it since yesterday. I do have my first impressions to call it a complete review ready. So let's talk about it, and one by one we will also try to stream on both of these devices. But before we get into all of that, if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell icon so that you get notified every time I upload a video. In the description of each video you will find a link to our Telegram community where you have more than 1,000 like-minded people sharing the same discussion with each other, so join us there. Last but not the least, if you think the hard work is worth the effort, please click on the join button and support the channel. Now without further ado, hello awesome people, welcome to PhoneOps. My name is Kailash. Let's get going. Alright, so ShapeShift OS version 2.7 Solos's official Android 11 updated on the 8th of August 2021. Now you do have notes over here which say that this is the initial release, suggested firmware is 12.5.2 global, SE Linux status is enforcing, safety net passes out of the box, ships with Google Apps. If you get failed to mount system root after flashing, then reboot recovery and flash optional zips like Magisk or DFE. And if you talk about the source changelog over here, oh, it's a lot of things. And if you talk about the device changelog for the POCO X3 Pro, this is the initial build. You have updated blobs and you have everything else that is taken from MIUI 12.5.3, so you should have a pretty good experience. Now when you boot this ROM for the first time, this is the wallpaper, this is the look that you're greeted with. And as I said, I am a lover of AOSP. The clean sort of looks for the first boot look really amazing. Nothing much here. To the left you have the clock, to the right you have the battery percentage and the battery icon along with the Wi-Fi icon. Over here you have the date and weather with calendar or your weather, right? So that is there. At the bottom you have some basic icons, and to the left as always you have smooth as butter Google Discover, which works like a charm. At least for me it is working fine. Now when you swipe from the top to bottom, you will see that you do get the quick tiles over here, and you do have your brightness slider, and this whole ROM goes with a purple theme. You do have your data usage indicator over here to the left, and to the right you have settings and auto brightness and the edit option. Now when you talk about additional quick tiles, you have heads up, caffeine, compass, sound, USB tethering, always on display off, which is useful on this device because it comes with the LCD panel, so I would not recommend using always on display. There is something called as headphones buddy. I have not tried that. You do have your gaming mode, focus mode, bedtime mode and live caption, right? Now as you can see, the UI feel, the UI smoothness is very solid. Now Wolf did tell me, Wolf is one of our testers in the Telegram group. You can also join our testing community and test ROMs for us and give us feedback and screenshots and stuff, so that would be really interesting. But he did say that this ROM is centered towards more battery backup and day-to-day usage compared to some other ROMs which actually are centered towards high performance and extreme gaming and stuff like that. So that's all fine. We will have a look at the benchmark numbers towards the end of the video, but for now let's go to settings and let's quickly go to about and select the Android version. Now before we do that, you will see over here it does have ShapeShift your as phone, and Snapdragon 860, 128GB and 6GB RAM, 5168 mAh, 1080p Full HD panel. So if you click on Android 11 over here, you do have ShapeShift OS version is this, security patch is the August security patch, and the kernel is the Ethereus version 3 kernel. Now that is one of the reasons why I have been saying that this is directed towards battery life, because Ethereus is not extremely performance oriented kernel, but that's all good because this experience for me has been pretty solid and pretty good. Now if you have a look at this particular settings UI, you will notice that it comes with the purple and black theme. Now this is of course a custom ROM and you can do all the customization you need, so there is nothing to worry there. But over here you do see that you get multiple users, and You can go ahead and add additional users as well. Now apart from this, network and internet, connected devices, all those usual Android 11 things, but the important part here is ShapeShifter. Now this right here, guys, is the customization menu for ShapeShift OS. I will be covering it in detail over here as well as for the K20 Pro device, because if you have some options which are there or not there, it is very important to know. For example, in K20 Pro, I'm expecting it will have FOD customizations in the FOD info option. Right now, what do you get over here? First, let's have a look at the initial impressions of the menu. Under ShapeShifter, you have power button, navigation, gestures, volume rocker, then you have quick settings, themer, heads up, pulse visualizer, then you have battery options, clock options, network indicators, status bar items, native controls, general options, and to the last, if you go over here, you have general notifications, miscellaneous, LED settings, and gaming mode. So, you know, ShapeShift OS as a device, as far as customization is concerned, it pretty much satisfies my needs. It takes care of almost all the things that you will ever need in a custom ROM as far as customization is concerned. For example, if you have a look over here, you do have the advanced restart option. So if you press the power menu, you will get advanced. You can restart to the bootloader recovery, or you can restart the system UI as well, in which it just restarts the complete system UI. Now you can select on lock screen, show controls when locked for sensitive controls, and if you go to navigation, you have the back gesture animation. Right now, see over here and enable this, you do see that the animation is there. Haptic feedback for back gesture, you can enable that. Navigation gesture options, different options are available. You can invert the layout for navigation, and as you can see, you have double tap to sleep, double tap on status bar, brightness control, swipe to screenshot. For example, the 3-finger screenshot is working absolutely fine. You also have the option of long screenshot, and you can go ahead and edit the screenshot in a few ways as well. So all these options are available as well. Under volume rocker, you do have some customization. Now moving on to the second option, which is interface. The first one was actions. This is interface. Now in interface, of course, you have quick settings, and you will have a ton of options. For example, vibrate on touch over here. So you want to turn Bluetooth off? Yep, it will vibrate. You can tiles and rows. You can select the number of tiles and rows. For example, I made it 5 over here, as you can see. So, you know, I mean, you can go ahead and customize that as well. You do have a dedicated themer. For example, you want this, yeah, I don't want this accent color, but in case you want this, you can go ahead and choose it. I still like the purple one. It looks great, right? Let's go back. Rgb Accent Picker, you have that option. Reset Rgb accent, theme overlays, adaptive icon shape. There you go. You can select heart as well. Wow, nice. Squircle. What about heart? Oh wow, this looks so funny, right? So, you know, I mean, you do have a ton of options over here, and it does definitely make your phone look different. The one that I like is Squircle, right? It looks great. This looks decent to me. System UI accents, system UI icons, you can make them recent. Primary theme, solarized dark. There you go. You can have dark gray, you can have night, you can have style, and you can have device default, right? So that is a ton of customization there. And the wonderful voice over Wi-Fi icon, you can go ahead and enable that as well. There you go. So you can go ahead and enable that feature and make some changes to that as well. Now apart from this, you do have heads up, wherein you can add apps for blacklist, stop list, and stuff like that. For gaming, this should be very, very useful. You do have your pulse visualizer over here, right? So you can select the nav bar, pulse, and stuff. Now we move on to the status bar customization of this device. Now under battery options, you do have battery style, portrait, show percentage. Inside the icon, you can go ahead and enable the battery bar at the top. As you can see over here, it looks all cool. So battery customization available. You can select clock options. You can put the clock in the center like this, or to the right. Now on this device, it doesn't make any sense because it has a punch hole there, so you can put it to the right as well. But I can go ahead and put it to the left. That's where I prefer. And you can, you know, disable it altogether as well. You can show the small font size date as well, There you go, Tuesday. So that's pretty neat. Now you do have the network indicator as well, upload and download, location status bar. You will see whenever there is upload or download happening, it will be available, hide arrows. There you go. So that works as well. Now you have status bar icons. You can decide what icons should be displayed in status bar. So neat customization there as well. Apart from this, you move on to the next option, which is lock screen customization. So you have native controls in which you have a ton of options. Double tap to check phone, right? So you can do that because you cannot use, I mean, you should not use always show time and date. So if you see over here, so in the daylight, always on display, even on the POCO X3 Pro will look pretty good. You won't really have a problem, but time to time it will flicker like this. So I don't really prefer to keep it active. So you can go ahead and disable it. Always show when charging, it's up to you. Show ambient music ticker, that is a good option. General options, fingerprint icon on lock screen. Wow, why do we need that? Okay, anyways, moving on, we go to the last option, which is a system music option, in which you have general notifications, you have ticker, you have miscellaneous, USB configuration, and all the other thing, allow signature spoofing, pocket detection. So you do have those options. You do have your LED light, blink flashlight for incoming calls, and you do have your dedicated gaming mode, in which you can go ahead and add applications like BGMI, and you can make changes to the gaming mode. Now this is the reason most of the time you will not see me covering the customization menu of a ROM for any particular device in detail, because it adds a lot of time to the video. But because we are reviewing ShapeShift OS on both the devices today, I thought I should extensively start paying attention to the customization, so that you can understand that when you get a custom ROM, along with smoothness, you are getting other features as well, which you will probably never see on MIUI. Now let's get back to the normal review world, wherein we will talk about things that matter to us. First of all, this ROM boots with very few applications, right? So you do have this Google Camera Go, which is I have installed, and you can go ahead and use it. It works completely fine. You do have this SnapCam application, which is included in the ROM, so that works fine to get the basic job done. Widevine L1, I have not had any issues. Safety Net, I have not had any issues, so you should be completely fine, right? So you can go ahead and use this ROM for a daily driver, for banking needs, for consuming content as well. This is absolutely fine. You should not have any problems at all, guys, right? Now moving on, we will talk about a few more things which I did not like. For example, this ROM doesn't have a built-in call recorder. I could really reuse something like that. The charging on this ROM is absolutely on, spot on. For example, if we go ahead and connect a charger right now, you might not get the correct percentage, or the correct ampere at which it is charging. Sorry, the phone moved a little bit there, right? So say you go to Accu battery, I've just connected the charger, we are at 78%. all right, so now as you can see over here, 2248, 2341. So the fast charging is there. It is going to charge really fast, because it is above 75% right now. It will not give you the full charging current, but I have not really had any problems with fast charging. And the battery backup as well has been pretty significant, pretty good. So as far as using this ROM as a daily driver is concerned, you should not really have any problems. Now the important part remains, which is yet to be covered, is how good is the battery life. The battery life is pretty decent. You should easily get more than 3 hours of gameplay if you're not streaming. If you're streaming, maybe somewhere near 2.5 to 3 hours. But how exactly is the gameplay? BGMI for me has been working absolutely fine. I will try it with 90 FPS on one of the live stream, but you do see over here that we have a few benchmark applications. So let me show you the CPU throttle test first. So this is the result. CPU throttle to 85% of its max performance. In the battery section on this particular device, you don't really have an option to add the thermal profiles. So you do get this sort of mediocre score, because this ROM is with Ethereum kernel. So don't worry, it is not one of the strongest points of this ROM. We did benchmark Antutu as well, and if you can have a look over here, 560,992. That's around 9,000 points less compared to one of the leading ROMs, AeroOS and stuff like that. And we also ran Geek Bench over here. So if we have a look and if we go to the historical score, 771 and 2536 versus 767 and 2747. So the scores are medium. They are not extremely high, they are not extremely low. But if you are a normal user who plays games casually for 1.5 hours and uses the phone for personal usage, and you can do with Gcam, trust me, this ROM has a lot of customization. It does get regular updates, and this is the initial release, so things will only improve from here. On the POCO X3 Pro, ShapeShift OS from me is a good choice. You can definitely go ahead and try it. Let me know in the comment section what do you think about this video. Until the next one, this is Kailash signing off at PhoneOps. Keep smiling. Take care. Goodbye.